For my community service project, I volunteered at the Whatcom Hills Waldorf School's annual auction. Here's a picture of it. And there's a picture of me. My main project was called the Dessert Dash, which is where attendees bid money in hopes that they will be the first to sprint over to the dessert table and choose the best dessert. So from a biological standpoint, we can look into the nutrition of these desserts, which included various cakes, cookies, and donuts. So after the dessert is eaten, the digestive system will break down carbs and fats, which are the two energy polymers for humans, into monomers. The fats will be broken down into fatty acids and the carbs into monosaccharides. The organelle mitochondria will break down glucose and convert it into ATP, which will be stored or used as energy. Many of the desserts contain animal byproducts and butter, in other words, a lot of saturated fat, which ties into cholesterol, which we learned about in class. High-density lipoprotein, or HDL, is the good cholesterol because it helps to protect you against heart disease, transports excess fats to the liver, and is boosted by unsaturated fats. Low-density lipoprotein, or LDL, is bad cholesterol because it can add to the buildup of plaque in your arteries and increase your risk of heart disease. It transports lipids to tissues and is boosted by saturated fats, which are present in these desserts. There were several desserts that catered to people with food allergies or sensitivities. This cake was gluten and dairy-free, which relates to lactose intolerance, which we discussed in class. In the majority of people, the body stops producing lactase after one stops breastfeeding, and then the body can no longer break down lactose because the pre gene controls when the lactase gene is turned off. However, at some point in time, there was a mutation in the lactase gene that prevented the pre gene from sending that message. So in this case, the body continues to make lactase, allowing a person to continue drinking milk. And about 75% of the world is lactose intolerant. The auction concluded with dancing, which relates to respiration and exercise. This dancing was aerobic exercise because it was lower intensity and continued over a long period of time. Aerobic exercise is muscle movement that uses oxygen to burn both carbs and fats to produce energy. So this system uses fats, carbs, and proteins to resynthesize ATP for continued energy use, which is really cool. It can synthesize 38 ATPs from one molecule, and you use slow oxidative muscle fibers. But going back to the dessert dash, the sprint to the dessert table would be anaerobic exercise, which is muscle movement that does not require oxygen and only burns carbs to produce energy. There isn't enough oxygen to break down pyruvates and synthesize any more ATP. And this kind of movement uses fast glycolytic muscle fibers. So that concludes my presentation. I enjoyed doing this community service.